fell ill, were you told the hospital where he fell ill in 2017? Did any of you know? No. And now, they have invited Aisha. I remember that for 3 months, this woman was kept incommunicado. She was sidelined. A woman who's supposed to be beside her husband who was sick in the hospital. This cabal hijacked Buhari.
So how do you know she wasn't there?
Well, I'm coming now. Hold on, I'm coming. Remember that when this happened, it was Idris, the IGP that Buhari appointed in his first coming, in 2015, that was invited. Buhari's wife Aisha did not show up for over 3 months. When she even went there, they didn't allow her to see the husband. It's on record. Now,
this recent one, you're talking about
the one that I said when he fell sick, not now, because this one that happened now, even none of us knew when she left.
Barrister, before you proceed, Moses asked a very important question. How did you know about all of this?
Come on, look, are you telling me that you people were not here when Buhari fell ill and for 3 months?
Yeah, we are looking at the source. What's your source?
My source is the news.
Which news?
The news that
the traditional media,
yes,
the social media. Did you read all of this in the Guardian?
I said it was in the mainstream. Please hold on, please, Mr. Okoro, hold on, please. Nobody is here to tell us again Buhari because he's late.
Okay.
We are looking at the.
No, we are holding a conversation.
No, hold on. I'm telling you that if you are not aware, I am aware.
Okay, that's why I'm asking because Moses asked the same question too.
Like what is going on now? Do you know that even up to now, people are not even aware of the news going on around? They won't know. If tomorrow now, posterity were to say, why did this happen? I am telling you what happened. That for 3 months, nobody knew what was going on. It was the first person they called was Idris, and they said that Buhari wanted this man, his IGP. Okay. From that time on, everything was shrouded in secrecy. Aisha was done. I'm not asking. You can see how you treat women. This woman did not see the husband while she was sick, and now that she's late, they have not taken her there, and condolences are going on there.
Let's, for the benefit of our viewers, let's not confuse them. You're talking about when he was in office.
Yes.
In 2015.
Yes, right? I'm talking about this ill health because they said
that ill health in 2015
that ended in just 2 days ago because they are still saying that he had been ill for a long time. That was what Garba Shehu said. That means this sickness did not start today. The sickness that claimed Buhari's life was not. It didn't start today, but it was shrouded in secrecy. It was even that last week or 2 weeks ago when Garba Shehu was launching his book, and they even told us some of the lies they told us that time. That he invented the right story to divert our attention from Buhari's ill health. What does that tell you?
No, but Barrister, I understand all of this. Buhari's ill health was not shrouded in secrecy.
It was.
It was. Nigerians knew that he was sick. That at the point, okay, why did he have to hand over to Oshibajo at a point? Wasn't it because he went to hospital?
No, you are not getting it.
What am I not getting?
Before the final one that took him a long time in the UK.
Okay.
He was handing over until Oshibajo now acted as the president and did certain changes.
So Nigerians at that point knew that he was sick.
But he came back. When he came back, what happened? Is that not when he now removed all the things Oshibajo
that's
did?
That's
a different thing.
That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. He's not getting it. It wasn't only for the first time that he went to UK. So before this one now,
he was sick in 2015. He got better. He came back and all of that.
Yes.
He passed on in 2025.
Exactly. He had been going and coming until the last one that took a long time when Aisha Buhari was sidelined.
Okay, so what is the issue about?
We are tracing the history because of what he asked me or what the paper said. When eventually Buhari came back, listen very well. What happened? Aisha Buhari relocated to Dubai. It's on record. It was when her marriage was threatened by one other woman that she hurriedly came back.
You seem to be driving at something that you don't want to hit on the head.
Why will you lay the foundation so that we know the genesis of this matter?
What is the matter now?
The matter is the death of Buhari.
Okay.
That people are now going to UK to go and pay condolence visits. Meanwhile, the whole issue is supposed to happen in Daura. Is he not coming back here today?
No, he died in the UK. He died in London.
In the UK. You don't expect people to go there and escort the money back home.
These things are necessary. Look, we're embarrassing ourselves as a nation. We're embarrassing ourselves so much. I don't like it.
No.
A president died in the UK.
We're not focusing on the fact that he died in the UK because that is enough. That aggrieves Nigerians enough.
It's a different talking point.
Yes, the president is hospitalized abroad. That's a different thing entirely. But the fact that that people were sent to escort the body back home, do you have a problem with that?
I have a problem because one, it is no longer escorting the body back. It is not a condolence visit. Why would
because the family is there.
Because a lot of some of the people that went to condole just didn't go to London because Buhari was sick. They were in the UK because they had other engagements.
When Buhari was very sick, why didn't the family go there? Answer me. Why didn't they take
Mandara was there now. Mandara was
please,
there.
Hold on. The wife was the first person who's supposed to be by that. No, okay, why did you not take her there now? Why did you ask her to go there and be receiving visitors? No, why did you take her there now?
Was she taking there?
Well, you mean if she was not allowed to go there, she would have gone. Is it possible?
Somebody
when the man was sick, why were you people? Why did you allow her to go there?
Nigerians were told when he traveled about a week or two ago. It was on the news that he had traveled for
I am saying this now. When this man needed the wife, when he was very sick.
Barrister, you're not part of the family, so I don't know how you are.
Okay, how come when the man came back, Aisha relocated to Dubai? And they were begging her to come back.
That's in 2016.
That is the genesis of this matter.
Barrister, what is the matter? I keep going back to that. What is the matter?
Because you telling me that there is nothing wrong in her going.
Because I don't really understand the trajectory. That's why it's difficult for me to interject. But the point we are making here is that this man has died. He's going to be interred today.
I think Barrister is driving at something else entirely, but he doesn't want to say it.
Well, you don't want me to say it. You don't want me to say it. People don't want to say it. I have made 2 points here, but you don't want to agree with me.
And you see, the wife holds the prerogative of when to be with him and then when not to be with him. Nobody stopped her from visiting her husband those early days.
I don't believe it.
And see, I recall that when Akeredolu was recuperating in Germany,
yes,
the wife was busy here in Nigeria, attending to some other things.
There's a lot going on social media, and a lot of Nigerians are pointing to the fact, to statements once made by Nnamdi Kanu that there's a real Buhari and there's a double. I mean, that made the news. It was all in the papers. If you still check papers, you will see it. The story of a double for Buhari.
And he predicted when the real thing will happen.
The double.
2 years after he leaves office. Yeah, that when they will expose what happened.
That's what who said? That
was what Nnamdi Kanu said. That 2 years after he leaves office, the real truth will come out. That's the truth. How come, Mr. Messi, listen very well. How come when Buhari came back from UK from his sick leave, Abi?
We are not privy to why she may have.
The wife relocated to Dubai. Are you not supposed to be nursing your sick husband who came back from sickness? Is it not important? No, tell me it did not happen. Tell me now.
But the point is, whatever we are saying here, the president's family has a right to their privacy, and rather than begin to unearth what we cannot really hold on to,
substantiate.
The best bet is for us to just sympathize with these people in this hour of need and let them soak, and then maybe pray for them to have that fortitude. Because no matter how old you are, even as a father, your child will not want you to die, and no matter how old you are, as a woman married to you, will not wish you dead. And so the woman is mourning now, and wherever she is, she can be visited, and I'm sure that she will accompany the corpse home to Katsina today. And so whatever it is, let them continue to sympathize with her and also give her the courage to be able to withstand this kind of calamity that has befallen her. So maybe we should rest that.
You remember my Bible say you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. If what you are saying now is the thing that happened, the right thing, if that is the situation, nobody will break head over these things now. But when they have created some doubt in the minds of people, why won't you look at what the people are saying so that we cannot continue on this trajectory? How many world leaders have paid condolence visits or sent a condolence message since Sunday? How many world leaders? Please, somebody answer me. How many world leaders? You mean they've not had, Abi? No, they've not had. Anyway, let's go to another topic.
All right. Well, if there is truly a double, we'll find out in the coming years.
Yeah, somebody will tell her the truth one day. Why not?
But in the meantime, this is the information we have. Is
it that the double is being buried today?
You have started again. You see now. You have seen him now. You said we should not talk about it.
No, I was just pondering.
Is it today?
It's a rhetorical question.
You are not here when Hadi Sariki dribbled the whole Nigeria for almost 1 year. Sirika, the aviation man. He 419 all of us until 2 days to Buhari's leaving office, and Buhari even went to go and commission an aircraft that is not our own. And
where is that? Which Buhari are you talking about?
He said which Buhari? Well, is there any other one?
Okay, I just want to.
All right. Okay. I don't want Nigeria also lost a very important personality who was also Buhari's friend. That's the Awujale of Ijebuland, Oba Adetono. He died and he's been buried already. I would like for us to x-ray a few things. Mr. Fanimo, now let's look at this headline. from The Punch. It says, soldiers bar traditionalists from Awujale's Muslim funeral. Well, he opted for a Muslim funeral. He's a traditional ruler.
I think
and he was for over 60 years, if I'm not mistaken.
65.
65 years, a traditional ruler of a community. And traditionalists were bad. What does that say to upholding culture?
You see, there was a judicial intervention in this matter sometimes in the past that when he declared that he wanted to be buried the Muslim way, the traditionalists said no, that you can't have your cake and eat it. That you came in as a traditionalist and all the rites were performed and you allowed it to happen, you allowed such to happen. But suddenly, after spending many years on the throne, we now wanted to shift from the norm. I think there was a case and the judge came up with the verdict that he has the prerogative to decide to decide whichever religious way he could.
But what does that, what does that say to upholding our culture?
But culturally, I don't want to align with the judge, because you see, at some point, if there's something I dread in my life, and those who are close to me will understand me for that, is I hate betrayal of trust. You will never find me doing it. The fact that you allowed, because you were bent on becoming the Awujale, you allowed the traditionalists to keep you in a secluded place for 3 months, performing rituals every day of those 3 months, 90 days.
You sat on that stool for 65 years.
And you sat on the stool for 65 years, for God's sake. You are now changing the game. Suddenly, you say you are now a born-again Muslim, and then that nobody. And unfortunately, some traditional rulers are now towing this line. And in a way, even as sophisticated as Britain is today, when the passage rites were to be done for the Queen when she died, a lot of things came up. There was a particular stone that was brought out.
Even a goat
was leading the military parade and all that. So if at that level they still uphold their culture and tradition, why would we? Why should we?
It's really concerning if you
honestly
go through
why
this.
should we go through this trajectory? If you know you are not ready for all these things, stay out of traditional issues.
Yeah.
It's not compulsory that you must be a king.
Barrister, please hold on. Let's hold on to our thoughts now. Let's quickly run to the streets where Matthew Ogunswada is to speak to Nigerians on stories that made it to the cover pages. And then when we come back, we'll pair the economic indices between his time in office and now. But we're talking about traditionalists, Awujale, Obadetana, his passing, and the fact that traditionalists came to the burial to perform the traditional rites, and soldiers prevented them from entering. Basically drove them away, because before his death he had opted to be given a Muslim burial. Barrister Darlington, you were going to say something before we had to go to the streets.
In reaction to what Dele said, that he did not agree with the judge, I want to disagree with him.
With who, the judge or?
I want to disagree with Dele, yes. Okay. Because your traditional whatever cannot supersede the law of the court, where freedom of association is entrenched, freedom of movement, freedom to decide who will be your friend or not. All those things are there from section 34 to 42. They are all there. If the court is looking at that, this man say, look, I don't want such association again. Is it not his choice? What if your tradition has become obsolete and obnoxious?
So we're talking about a traditional ruler.
I am coming.
We're talking about the person.
I am coming. There are so many things that happened before that cannot happen now. Like the Aro and Akakanfo of Yoruba land. I challenge Eba Gani to go through the same ritual and let's see what will happen. Those things are becoming obsolete. When Oba Teju Osho was to go through the same thing, they told him what the gods will serve in a day. He said, no, I can't go through this. Oba Teju Osho, eventually he had his way. So certain things are becoming obsolete because of their wider implication. When you start worshiping all these dangerous gods, they come with a lot of baggages.
Barrister, which god should we?
The man said that he's now born again and he want to do things the normal way and all that. What is wrong with that? Instead of going to kill one thing or the other as a sacrifice every day, those things, they are becoming obsolete. That's what the man is saying. And are you saying he's not right in what he said? That's what I'm telling people, that you need to get into the system to change it. The man entered and he had changed what was wrong with that tradition. Moses, in the days of you, in our own part of the country, they used to kill twins because they believed that they were evil children. they will throw them and their mother into the evil forest until one woman, Mary Celeste, came from Ireland to stop it, and she died in the process. The woman died trying to stop that thing. Today, are we not celebrating twins? You can see. So when some of this traditional whatever is no longer relevant, please let us discard it. Nobody should blame the Awujale. Nobody. This was a man they asked to come and view the coup plot of his sons. What is it called? Dikbo, Olarewaju and Co. When Abacha was showing the video, Awujale said, I forgot my glasses at home. I can't see anything. That was what he said. Just to exonerate himself. What do you want him to say? That he saw his sons plotting a coup against Abacha. Is that what you want him to come and confirm? So you apply wisdom. Why do you think he stayed up to this time? Tell me. Why do you think he stayed up to this time? If he actually violated the so-called tradition, he wouldn't have stayed up to today now. 65 years in a throne. That means he entered at the age of 31 or so. So please, it's important that we leave all these things. It did not help us. And it will never help us.
Okay, essentially, I think what is happening here is what is described as a clash of civilizations. Because this is one civilization that is trying to take over, to subjugate another one. But unfortunately, when scholars list civilizations, they don't even mention Africa as a civilization, because Africa has been subsumed by either the Western or the Islamic civilization. We have the Western civilization, we have the Islamic, we have the Cynic, which is the Chinese civilization, we have the Hindu civilization, and maybe the Latin American, Southern America, they try to mob them together as a civilization, but that is still in contention within the academic circles. What I see happen is that, look, we have an African civilization that is actually not existent, that is being further subjugated by an outside civilization, and in this case, which is the Islamic civilization, because the man has opted for an Islamic barrier. And unfortunately, our Africans fail to realize that this particular civilization is the tradition of some people. Yes, it's the tradition of some people.
Of course.
But when the thing crosses over, when it is a crossover, we tend to, it's like when you say that Africans are pagans, Africans are natives, Africans are tribesmen. But in Europe, you see vernacular. And in Europe, you see them as ethnicities, ethnic nationalities, and all of that. That's exactly what is playing out. But I'll reduce it to what Baba Olusegun Obasanjo, my idol, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, what?
My idol, one of Nigeria's best presidents ever. Obasanjo says that, look, in as much as
I attend churches.
He attends churches, but he's not going to do away with his Ifa priest. So that's exactly, I think I'll reduce it to that. It's for the Ajowale, Sikiru Adetona to have made a choice, and it's good for people to respect his choice. There's an elderly man in my community, not in my community, in my compound. And the man was a traditionalist, but like when he thought that it was time for him to go, he converted to Catholicism. He became a Catholic. He was baptized and all of that. And when he died, it was the church that buried him. That's his wish. So if that is what the Adetona wanted.
Are we not going to see a further whittling down or fading away
of African civilization?
African culture,
exactly.
Is that not what we'll see?
That is what is we've already been through.
The ones that involve fetish practice, let us do away with it.
No, but Barrister, what is fetish? They don't just say something about the burial of the king of England.
What are those?
What do they do Halloween?
That's rituals.
They still do Halloween.
They still do Halloween.
Hold on.
Celebration of witches.
Yes, hold on.
They do all those things.
Are you aware that in some traditions, people are buried alive with a king?
That was in the early days. Nobody knows that anymore.
Even Europeans did it.
Good. How come it was discarded? I remember the pharaohs of Egypt. This is their tradition. Have they not done away with it? It's the same way people are doing away with some of the this year people are celebrating.
Culture.
What we are saying is culture. What are those the cultural ingredients in Africa that were morally right, that were righteous, that didn't have to take people's blood? Is it not better that we begin to emphasize those things like communal living?
Is it not still with us today?
No, it is not.
No. Go to the rural villages. You know whether it is still there or not. Don't mind what they are doing here.
Anybody practicing African religion is either ostracized or labeled with a terrible stigma.
Mixing something with sand and putting it on your body, right? Barrister,
is that what?
Mixing things up. Maybe you're mixing oil and sand.
It depends on what you are thinking. What I'm saying
is not about what you are thinking. I'm Catholic. In our church, during the communion service, the priest helps us to transform bread and wine into the body and blood of Christ.
That one, what is? Did they harm anybody? Didn't have anybody.
Okay.
We are talking about people that they said.
Okay, let's flip it. On the flip side, do you think that the white man would have accepted an African doing that?
Why I mean, I don't get it. There are things that Africans have done that the white man have accepted. Many of them.
Like,
they are even teaching them in their schools over there. Like, yes, there is African Center for African Culture and Religion being taught even in Harvard. It's on record. Yes, they are teaching them. A white man was speaking fluent Yoruba the other time. I said, what? He was teaching Yoruba. All those oriki that they normally incantation, they are still doing it.
You have simply come back to where you started from.
I am telling you, does it mean that the Awujale did not perform any of the? Does it mean that nothing? There are ones that are obnoxious. That's what the man said. I don't want to touch it. Yes, you can't tell me that he did not perform anything at all in the traditional way. You can't tell me that. He removed all those things that are obnoxious, very dangerous ones. If he did not do that, he wouldn't have stayed up to this time now, 60-something years, on the throne. Is it a joke?
The barrister, we have traditionalists who stay up to 100 and something years. So it practically has nothing to do with what he did or what he avoided.
Let me tell you, most time it has to do with it, because if you don't observe those things and those gods, they will come after you. But the Awujale...
I'm telling you about people that observe those things and they lived longer than the Awujale.
It depends on how they observe it now. Did you see them?
It's subjective now.
Did you see them?
It has clearly become subjective.
You cannot be sacrificing human being every day and stay that long. It's not possible. Their blood will come after you. That's what I'm telling you here. There are people who live on human blood. It must be sacrificed at a particular time in a month for their throne to be sustained. If you are doing nothing, how can God be watching you?
Okay. Well, let's go into some of the headlines now. Natasha is on the table today. Mr. Fanimo. Now, this is the headline.
I didn't see her here.
Well, this is the headline. This is the headline. From the, let's take two papers now. From the Punch, it says, Natasha fires back at Akpabio over reinstatement challenge. From the Guardian, Akpabio appeals against court order for Natasha's recall. So those are the headlines.
It is within the right of Akpabio to challenge the court process, even up to Supreme Court. So nobody's going to deny him that. More so, he is also a lawyer like Natasha. So they are friends of Barrister Darlington, and he knows that he can challenge.
He must.
So he has that right. But one thing I want to say here that is still a bother to me is the fact that we seem not to have enough yet of this drama, which is a major distraction.
It seems like the Senate is standing its ground to ensure that the 6-month suspension.
You see, ego is at the heart of all this.
Implemented.
Ego is at the heart of all this. While the Senate will not want to back down, Natasha also has one part of that judgment that says she must apologize, and she has not taken any step towards that. So it's now a kind of ding-dong affair. If you are not ready to stoop to conquer, then we are not going to allow you to come to this house, and which is a major distraction, whichever way you look at it. For me, what is in Natasha apologizing? After all, she wrote a satire, and that satire was denigrating enough for this whole house to come together and say, no, this woman cannot have her way all the time. And she has also been bloodied by being stopped from being a participant on the floor of the house, and which is also against her and that of her constituency. So it's a two-way thing now. The only solution to this is for the two parties, to sheath their sword, and in the interest of Nigeria and Nigerians, find a way to resolve this matter. And I expect that reasons will prevail at this time for people of goodwill to step into this and then beyond the court resolve this thing once and for all, so that we can continue with state matters rather than about this.
I think you are being idealistic here, because the people that you are talking about don't have the interest of Nigeria at heart. They have their own interests. So don't expect that this thing will be resolved soon. It has become an ego thing.
That's what I said.
Yes, Natasha and exactly. So what I'm saying, I want to disappoint you. Don't ever think that they will consider our interest, like shooting their swords and going back to plenary to do what they're supposed to. They will keep fighting. When they said, Barris, I'm coming. When they said the High Court, had ruled that Natasha should come back to office, I knew, that Akpabio or the Senate was going to appeal that judgment. One, to make sure that the rubbish had more by ensuring that she serves out, the suspension, the 6-month suspension. That's exactly what has happened. Now, but on the other hand, I don't see any, probably, while not standing in for Natasha, I was thinking that probably if she resume, she will now do the apology on the floor of the Senate. That's my thinking.
But that was not the content of the judgment.
No, she
should resume before apologizing.
What did the judgment say?
The judgment says that she didn't tell. The judgment didn't state clearly.
Okay, so it's her prerogatives. So I'm thinking that probably that is what she wanted to do. Apologize on the floor of the Senate.
No, you are not.
Is that a publication? 5 national publications.
Okay, 5
is done after resumption.
After resumption.
Please,
like you rightly said, the court didn't give a timeline for that to be done.
My brothers, let us situate this in properly.
Okay.
This is a legal matter. It's not about ego as you claim. Let us remove that. When Natasha was accused of contempt of court, was the proper procedure followed? The answer is capital no.
Barrister, when a court of competent jurisdiction asked the Senate not to suspend Natasha, did the Senate obey that court order?
I am coming now.
Let's start from there.
No, hold on. Hold on. Okay, since the Senate violated the ruling of the court, why would the same court now go to ask Natasha to apologize for contempt of court that has no...
Because the same court had said, no, Barrister, wait, well, let's take it one at a time. Because the court has said, it insisted that, look, we stand on the decision of a court, of a high court that said that the Senate, ab initio, didn't have the right, the power to suspend Natasha. So recall her. Now, no, Barrister, hold on. Now, that was what the court said. Now, the judgment of the court was that, look, Natasha, you have breached process, so you have to apologize. Is it now what happened?
It's not what happened.
So what happened?
Good. Listen to me.
Barrister, I'm listening.
You are not read the judgment. Now, what everybody is claiming to be the decision of the court was actually an opinion and an advice. The court said, in my opinion and in my advice, so should be done.
What should be done?
Listen, that Natasha should be recalled, even though the Senate have the power. Are you getting what? That the thing was excessive and harsh.
So was that a judgment or an opinion?
Hold on, it's inside the judgment of the court. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It was not an order to the Senate. That was where the mistake came from.
Absolutely.
That was where the mistake came from. That thing in law is called an obita, sorry. That is something that is tangential to the main issue. That is when you are reading it, you say, well, this one we had it, but it's not relevant to the judgment. But you have mentioned it. Okay. So the thing that the Senate are now looking at what the judge said in passing.
Okay, so Barrister, essentially, what you are saying, if it's an opinion of the court and not a main judgment, which is not an order, so you are saying that Akpabio has erred in law by trying to make an appeal. That is what it means.
Hold on, Nami, you are jumping the gun here. In the first place, the processes for contempt of court was not followed. Go to section 72 of the Sheriff and Civil Procedure Rule. You will see it there that before you can say that somebody has committed contempt of court, the first thing you do to the sheriff or the registrar, you serve the accused from 48.
Okay. Barrister, there's a question I want to ask you. There's a question I want to ask you.
Go ahead.
The judgment. What is Akpabio appealing? Is it appealing the opinion of the court or the judgment?
Yes, he's appealing the recalling of Natasha, which was contained in that judgment.
Which you said is not an order. So why is he appealing?
That is the mistake. I'm trying to educate you here now. Which you listen?
So who is making the mistake?
It is Akpabio and his people. Yes, it is Akpabio, and that's what I'm trying to let you know. That even the content of court was not properly followed. It was not even properly documented. It was not even properly decided, because nobody served Natasha for 48, where she will be reminded that, look, on so and so this thing you did so against the court and all that. Then it is after that from 48 and Natasha did not retrace her step, you will now serve from 49. That is committal. These are the processes. And let me tell the other day, it was in my other show, Evening Rush, I was telling you that whenever you go to court and the proper procedure and rule were not followed, you have disabled that case ab initio. If these steps were not taken from the beginning, before they now arrive at this judgment, then it is null and void. That is where the Natasha...
judgment is null and void.
Null and void, because the rules were not followed. You just woke up and say, you are charged accused of a contempt of court. Did anybody did anybody serve Natasha for 48 and for 49?
Barrister, there is one thing that we are omitting here, and I'd like for us to trash it out before we leave here. What is Akpabio appealing? Is Akpabio appealing against the recall or the contempt of court?
Of course.
A recorder was not a judgment, but an opinion.
Hold on. The contempt of court was not even for Agbabi, it's for Natasha. So why will you go to court against? Is the recalling of Natasha, because Natasha is threatening that by today she will go back to the Senate.
Which is not an order, which is not a judgment of the court, but just an opinion. It is not
left for you and Agbabi to ask yourself, what are you doing? Yes, it is left for you and Agbabi to ask, what are you going? What are you appealing for? Is that judgment that said he should? Maybe his lawyers misled him. I'm telling you. I've told you here that there was money for.
It's interesting to know how lawyers will mislead a lawyer.
Yes, I'm telling you here now, because on what ground were you going to appeal something that does not concern? Is it Akpabio that was accused of contempt of court? Was it Akpabio? Because no judgment has been issued against Akpabio. It is Natasha.
So essentially, the court didn't ask Senate to recall Natasha.
They did, but it was not an order. It was something that was said as an opinion and an advice.
Okay.
But instead of these people to say, okay, they now want to make a more hill out of, a mountain out of a more hill.
Okay.
They advise them, but if you
thank you very much. This would be a good place to anchor the conversation, as we're absolutely out of time. We'll